since 2008, and I've known Josh for quite a while, since about 2008, I guess, and know that he's been working on a lot of Twitter tool, or been working on a Twitter tool for quite some time, and launched tweepwise.com in November, which is pretty exciting discovery and curation and follower tool that we're going to talk about today. And Josh, why don't you tell me a little bit more about your role at Monkey Island and some more about the product, then we'll get into the demonstration.
Okay, thanks. So I am one of 3 co-founders of Monkey Island Inc., and we have been at work for a number of years on a number of different products that all revolve around Twitter. Our most recent launch, like David said, is tweepwise. It's a audience discovery and curation tool. We have about 1,500 active accounts now on the service. People are mostly using it to highly target relevant Twitter profiles, people who would be more likely to engage with the content that some putting out. So I'm really excited to be here and give this demo.
All right. Well, I've seen some earlier iterations of some of the technology you've been working on, and got to say that I'm impressed with it. In particular, its ability to not run afoul of Twitter's guidelines and user terms. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and share your screen, and let's go in and take a look at the demo.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so this is tweepwise homepage. Basically, we're finding that agencies are customers. So see, a lot of the language on here is directed at agencies who are now more than ever in the business of helping their clients get more followers on Twitter. Let's jump right in and have a look. Basically, tweepwise has a couple of tools, 2 pieces to it. One is a audience discovery tool. So what you do with that is you create what we call saved searches. That's what this box is here. I'm going to show you how you create a new saved search. Click on this orange button, and there's a number of different saved searches you can do. You can do searches by location. So say that you're a pizza shop that's located in St. Paul, Minnesota. You can just actually do a search for St. Paul, Minnesota and a user's location. Now, why would you want to do this? Because as a pizza shop, you want people who are in the same area who can actually walk in the door and put money in your till. Those are the kind of Twitter users that you want to connect with and engage with. It's not as likely that someone who has their location field set at New York, San Francisco, the UK, the Philippines is going to walk in and so what tweepwise will do is it will pull down data and find people who have St. Paul, Minnesota in their location field. Now, the other thing that tweepwise has, and this is important, is that it has a built-in algorithm that's going to really take out all of the dead and inactive profiles, anybody who has a real spammy profile, follower-following ratio that is out of whack. It's going to remove all of those people from the data. So you'll see that all these profiles are really legit, high-quality people, all from St. Paul, Minnesota. So that could be the customer for that pizza shop. Let's go back and look at some of the other saved searches that you can do on tweepwise. Next one would be a keyword search. So maybe instead of you being a pizza shop, you're a company that sells dirt bike equipment, and you drop ship equipment like gloves, helmets, goggles, and things all over the United States. So you might be interested more in looking at dirt bike enthusiasts. You want to connect people who are really hardcore into riding dirt bikes. So you'll see, you know, here's someone who's self-proclaimed into dirt bike riding and cycling. Here's a dirt bikes. Love it in dirt bike. Here's 79 highly targeted, highly relevant users for you if you're drop shipping dirt bike equipment. So that's the keyword search. You can also pair location with keywords. So for that pizza shop, Paul in their location and pizza or pizza lover in their bio. Really, these discovery tools are all to help someone find that highly targeted, highly relevant audience that's more likely to engage with them. Next way to search is by searching friends or followers of other users. So many times someone the name of their competitor, and that competitor might have a Twitter profile. So again, we could go to Twitter and we could actually do a search for pizza Minnesota, and we could come up. What Twitter's going to do is show us the people who would be related to that. Let's just say Pizza Luce, right? This is a pizza. They're listening to or following 2,198 people, and they have 9,112 followers. So we can actually take the Pizza Luces, go back, tweepwise, save search, and we can either look at those 9,000 people by putting Pizza Luce in here. We could look at the 2,000 people that they're listening to by doing this type of a search, users who Pizza Luce follows, or we could say, of those 9,000 people, how many of them have St. Paul in their location? Now what tweepwise is going to do is it's going to ping Twitter, and it's going to ask, show me the first 100 of those 9,000 people. There's the first 100, any who has St. Paul in their location. Now it might come back that there isn't in the first 100, and then we could continue to do the search on all 9,000, but what we like to do is show a sample. So out of the first, there's at least 2 people who are following a competitor of our pizza shop and have St. Paul, Minnesota. So all we have to do is click on save this search, and that's how a saved search is created right there. Users who follow Pizza Luce and have St. Paul in their location. So those are the discovery tools. Yeah, go ahead.
In that instance of multiple search criteria, is it pulling the first 100 followers, people who followed Pizza Luce based on your criteria, or is it pulling the most recent?
So it is basically going to Twitter and saying, show me the 100 of these 9,000 people.
Okay. So
and then Twitter will send us that data back to tweepwise, and then we'll run a refined search on St. Paul, and we'll also run those people through our algorithms to make sure they're not spammy and they're legitimate accounts. So that the results of those first 100 were those 2 people. When I hit save this search, now tweepwise calls back to Twitter and says, okay, ship me the remaining 9,012, and I'm going to refine the search, run it through the algorithm. And so right now it's being processed, processing request, and that takes a little while.
Okay.
And hopefully by the end of this demo, we might be able to see out of the 9,000 how many users actually passed all of our criteria and met that.
Okay.
So the other piece to tweepwise then is the curation side of it, right? So you build this queue of people, of highly targeted, highly relevant profiles that you would like to follow, co-follower following relationship. Now we really believe in reciprocal follower-following relationships. We're not big fans of just either not following or having like only one person follow the other. If you're a celebrity, you can get away with that. But everybody else, the one best way to get people to know that you exist on Twitter, besides it or on your door of your storefront or on the receipts or putting it on your website or whatever, is to actually follow other people and say, hey, you know, I have a Twitter profile, I'm on Twitter. You should follow me back. So we built this curation tool. What's that?
Is there a reason beyond sort of etiquette that is there a sort of a best practices reason beyond simple etiquette for maintaining that type of follower ratio?
You know, I think
I mean,
that
is there something within Twitter's
Twitter best practices
yeah.
has the most value when people are engaged with one another.
Okay.
In order to do that, I believe that reciprocal follower-following relationships are those that are most engaged. So, for example, if I'm following you, David, and you're not following me back, I can't direct message you.
Yeah.
And so there's a limitation on the engagement that I can have with you. So we're huge proponents of reciprocal follower-following relationships. Now, where this breaks down and it doesn't work is when you don't have a targeted following. So I would encourage anybody who's listening to go to your followers and see who they actually are. See if they're people that are in your location, if that's important to you. See if they're people who are interested in the same topics and having the same kinds of conversations and sharing ideas that you are. If you find that as you scroll through your followers that you got a bunch of junk in there, then using a tool like tweepwise is important, because what you'll find is the higher the quality of relationships that you have, just the higher quality of an experience you're going to have on Twitter. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
So I want to show another account while this processes, just so you can see. Here's an account that's been using tweepwise now for a little while. They've been doing other efforts as well to grow their following. But it's shared music review. It's Twin Cities-based free independent website for artists to share and music lovers to discover music. So really it's all about music and bands and artists and music lovers. And so they've had success growing their following. If you look at the queue that they've built, they've done searches using the keyword search, right? Punk band in the user's bio. Here's another search, users Minnesota in their location and singer-songwriter in their bio. 11 people came up. So they're using a lot of these location plus keyword, right? Minneapolis in their location, bands in their bio, to really target their audience, the people that they want to engage with. So you can see that through using tweepwise, they have 2,838 different people and have been able to create 255 reciprocal follower relationships with people who are highly targeted and highly relevant to them. As they use these two unfollow and follow tools. So the first one, it's checked green, so we won't really be able to see exactly how it works. But basically, on a daily basis, tweepwise gives you to-dos, right? And so on a daily basis, there's usually two to-dos. One is to unfollow, and one is to follow. Tweepwise tells you, okay, these people aren't interested in having a reciprocal follower-following relationship with you. They are, you don't need to follow them, so please unfollow them. It's a suggestion, and the account manager can decide, do I want to keep or unfollow? Keep or unfollow. So on a daily basis, you come in and you can decide to keep or unfollow. So you could unfollow this Norwegian one, all right? And you just go through until this check mark turns green, which they've done today. Then again, on a daily basis, tweepwise takes from your queue and says, okay, how many do I need to follow? Well, they have tweepwise set where they're following 20. They're being shown 25 new people to follow. It looks like they have 21 that they've already followed. There's 4 more that they could follow. So then they can decide, do I want to follow Stereo Rooster or not? Read the bio. You know what? Doesn't look quite right. I'm not going to follow that person. But here's someone who's in a punk rock band. in Maine. Yes, I want to follow them. This person is a DJ and in a punk band. Sounds like a good follow. This is a rebel with many causes, webmaster for a punk band. Let's just say no. You click on the red item, or you can follow. And basically, an account manager then has this ability to build a queue, highly relevant, highly targeted queue, and then tweetwise is just saying, here's who we recommend you should unfollow, here's who we recommend you should follow. And the manager can just click follow or not, or delete, or keep, or unfollow. And it just goes a lot quicker. It speeds up the time, and you're building highly relevant, highly targeted follower lists. So that's basically it. That's it's really simple. It's all about audience building, and like I said, we have lots of accounts, and people are making use of it and having success with it.
So,
what do you think, David?
Yeah, can you show me a little bit of, do you have any additional analytics other than what we've seen so far in the demonstration?
So really, the core analytics, these lifetime analytics that we have is, so how many people have you followed, how many of those have you obtained, the conversion percentage, and then we have something called reach, which basically is if all 255 of these obtained followers were to retweet you, it would go to about 500,000 people. Now, the likelihood of them all retweeting it and that those 500,000 people see the tweet, as you and I know with stream pollution and everything else that exists, that might not be the case, but it's a interesting number to have. Right. So those are really the analytics that we're providing at this time. The other kind of cool thing about tweetwise is, and I'm going to scroll kind of quickly all the way down here to the bottom, is you can look at different searches that you've already done. Sorry, I'm still scrolling. So, for example, they did a search for indie band in a user's bio, and they ended up obtaining 43 followers, which was a 9% conversion rate. Now, we're seeing with the 1,500 accounts, anywhere between 5 and 7% is an average reciprocal relationship conversion. Anything over 10% is really outstanding, and that has a lot to do with the fact that, people, this idea of stream pollution, there's just a lot to keep track of on Twitter. So in order, getting 10% of the people to say, yeah, I want to listen to what you have to say is a really good metric. So what's nice about having these separately is you can see, for example, that this Nashville band search did a lot better. It converted at 15%. And so if you wanted to, they did this in December, but maybe 5-6 months from now, they could actually click on rerun this search, and we would look and find more than the other 40 or more people who are in that same criteria, and they could rerun that search. So you can start comparing and getting smarter about what searches perform better. Right. Those are the other analytics really that we have in the program right now. Okay. So
then the product is what's your pricing?
It's $19.95 per month per account.
Okay.
And there's a 30-day free trial, so yeah, you're more than welcome. Anyone can go to tweepwise.com and sign up and use it for 30 days and give us feedback on what they think, and hopefully begin a paid account.
Okay, so this is correct me if I'm wrong, this is an ideal product for a small business person. We showed restaurants, so restaurants that have one or a few accounts. Mm-hmm. It looks like you mentioned at the beginning that you've got a software built for agency, so you're positioning it as an agency tool. I can see the extreme benefit of using it that way, managing multiple accounts. So how do you work with agencies? How's that?
Yeah, so right now any agency could go to Tweepwise and start a free trial. What Tweepwise allows you to do is add additional accounts. So for example, if instead of my name being the profile, if it was XYZ social media agency, they could start the tweepwise trial with their agency account or one of their agency managers' personal profiles, and then all they would need to do is add additional accounts as they go. So let's say that they have success with tweepwise and they love the tool, and we have lots of raving fans, which is great. And so then they add their 10 customers that they're serving, that they are doing social media management for, and that they found follower growth or acquisition is not easy, so this makes it a lot simpler. So all they would do is add those 10 accounts, and then, you know, it's all via credit card, so any of the active accounts on a monthly basis would get billed at $19.95. We do have some price breaks, so as soon as you get over 30 accounts, it goes down to $15.95, and then, you know, we have a few customers that have over 100 accounts on the service, and they have other price breaks, but that's probably beyond the conversation today. So,
so you've I'm impressed with it because it is. I know the difficulty in trying to get followers on Twitter manually, right? And this is a natural way, a natural feeling way of doing it without having to put in the labor for actually, you know, finding and following people manually. Can you talk to me? And then you hear these stories about well, Mitt Romney was the most recent example where he gained a zillion followers overnight in the presidential campaign. Can you talk to me a bit about that versus how you're approaching it?
Yeah, so I think that in our kind of lens of how Twitter is most useful for anyone, it is most useful when the relationships are authentic. And when you go out and buy tens of thousands of followers, you are literally buying dead, inactive, spammy accounts, and it's going to make your number look bigger. We are more proponents. We put out a press release about this idea of a get followers slow movement versus get followers fast, because there are so many services that $100 and will give you 1,000 followers. You know, services that allow you to spam Twitter, right? We have built-in limits to how many people we allow you to follow and unfollow on a daily basis, and that's based on Twitter's rules and Twitter best practices. So we're really making a huge effort to separate ourselves from that get followers fast idea. And I think that as people who are managing Twitter, if we could all tell our clients, or we could just start talking about how quality will always supersede quantity. That if I am sitting in any meeting with a business owner, that pizza shop owner, and I say, if I could offer you 100,000 Twitter followers, but they are from all over the world, and they some of them are dead accounts, some of them are porn accounts, some of them are inactive, some of them are spammers, or if I could offer you 100 people who are on Twitter and who live in the 3 zip codes that are around your storefront, which would you take? That pizza shop owner is always going to take those 100. And so this idea of you know, quantity being a valid metric, I think, is a little bit skewed. You know, it doesn't help that we have all these celebrities that get millions of followers, but that's what they're about, right? But for regular businesses, which is what a lot of social media marketing companies work with, and they have a hard deliverable that's getting more followers and showing growth of followers over time, that highly relevant, highly targeted followers is what those businesses will want. It's what will drive other business results.
Yeah.
So get followers slow. Quality supersedes
I
quantity.
couldn't agree more. So when you've got an excellent tool for finding the targeted audiences that people want to reach, what should people be doing on the content side to maximize the ability to get people to want to follow you? So you've got any
Yep.
best practices or advice for that?
Well, it depends highly on the business. But I think a kind of a global response to that is, I think more now than ever, businesses and business owners and those who are managing social media have to really embrace what I call this share mentality. And what I mean by that is everybody goes through their day. A business owner, the pizza shop owner, doesn't have time to like just jack around and be on Twitter and Facebook all the time. They've got bills to pay. They've got accounts payable, accounts receivable. They got payroll. They've got customers and customer service and rent and all. They have tons of issues that they have to deal with. And so I think that utilizing tools, smart tools, is one big thing. But then just this idea of the share mentality, which means that pizza shop owner or that real estate agent or that thought leader goes through their day and they read articles online. They might see something that's really cool in their store or restaurant, take a picture of. They might have opportunities to capture some of the cool things that they just interact with naturally. But sometimes, when we don't have a share mentality, we'll say, oh, wow, that's really cool. And then we'll go on to the next thing where, why don't you capture that with a picture? Why don't you write a tweet about that? Or you read something that's really interesting. It might be, as a real estate agent, something that's about low housing trends or mortgage rates or whatever, and you read it and then you close your browser. Well, you know what? Click on the tweet this button. So this idea of the share mentality takes a lot of the pressure off of I have to sit down and think of something ingenious to write on Twitter, right? And I think that's where a lot of the content gets hung up. People are like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to put on Twitter. Well, you know what? Just stuff you've read. Take a picture of something cool you've seen. Make a comment on an article or on something else that someone else has commented on. It's not. It doesn't have to be witty and unique at the time. And I think by telling that to the business owners who have a lot going on, it kind of takes the pressure off and it makes social media a lot more accessible.
Right, right.
I don't know if I answered your question or not.
No, you did. You can I ask you a favor? Can you unmute your screen so we can see you?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm just got this I got my ad running right now. Let me see if I can find you. Hold on a second. All right. Ta-da! There I am.
All right. So, any recent developments that people should know about as far as Twitter is concerned? Just sort of trends or
Well, I think there's a couple things that I've been paying attention to. One of the things that Twitter has done traditionally, but it seems like they're doing a lot more of these days, is they're sending you emails that saying, "Hey, here's some people that you should follow. Here's some people who are like you," right? And so I think they're doing their best at trying to each other, and they're using their own algorithm to try to figure out, okay, how are these people relevant to each other? These people would likely have a reciprocal relationship with one another if we could get them to follow one another, and they're kind of pushing that out in front of you. So that's interesting to me because I do think Twitter is promoting this idea of like finding people that are like you and that would share your interests. Because I think interests is a huge opportunity. And then the other thing that I've seen that's come on board now, and I'm sure you've seen this, is they're actually rolling out some of their ad platforms now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're even allowing users to advertise on Twitter, promote themselves in certain ways. And I think while there's value there, and I think the jury's you're paying, do you get the value that you want or need? But I think I'm really excited to see what their ad platform looks like. I do think that audience building today, I do think that audience paying attention to who follows you, even on Facebook too, just who is listening, who are your fans, and understanding how engaged those people really are, and if you can find a better set of people, if you can target them better some way or another, you're going to increase your engagement. So let's talk about content and engagement, but I do think audience is really important, and it maps to this interest graph, and those of us who are working, I think, have opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see how this ad platform plays out.
Yeah. One last question. Speaking of paying attention to your own followers, is there do you know if Twitter has any plans for, or are there tools that you're working on or others for me I want to be able to mine my own followers and find out what they're talking about and pay attention, basically monitor their conversations, find out who's talking about subject X. So can I have a search that tells me what my followers are talking about? Are you aware of anything like that?
Yeah. Well, I think that I'm not in the engagement side of things. Definitely we focus more on the kind of the audience and the following side of things. But I do think that tools like Hootsuite and TweetDeck, Radian 6, there's some tools that exist out there now that businesses can use that help them listen and engage, and you can do that within the people who are following you or who you're following, or it can be within subsets, and you can define columns and all kinds of things. I think there are some pretty sophisticated tools and some tool providers out there who are developing tools that help brands, help businesses, and just people in general really listen and engage around the topics that they're interested in. So, one of our goals with tweepwise would be to say, how could we pair our audience building, audience discovery and curation tool with a Hootsuite? Could we somehow integrate into their platform where their users not only are really focused on the listening and the engagement, but they're also given the opportunity to build that highly relevant targeted audience that's more likely to have that engagement.
Sure.
So, if anybody out there is from Hootsuite or Radian 6 is listening, give me a call.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of which, then, how do people get a hold of you if they want to sign up for an agency thing, or just how do people get a hold of you? How does Hootsuite get a hold of you?
Yeah, so Hootsuite, you can email me at josh@tweepwise.com. I think I would recommend any agency or anyone thinking or considering a tool like this I would encourage you to try Tweepwise, and you can do that just by going to tweepwise.com, and there is a 30-day free trial, and you can sign many of your client accounts as you want under that and manage them all and see how that kind of the administrative side of managing multiple accounts works, and hopefully will win your business.
Very good. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Hi, this is David Erickson. I hope you found the video useful or enjoyable or entertaining or all of the above. If you did, subscribe. Click on the subscribe button, subscribe to the eStrategy channel. Love your feedback. I would love to hear what you think about the video, or if you have anything to add, leave them in the comments below. And if you like this, if you found it useful, remember to like the video, share it wherever you want, Twitter, Facebook, wherever else. Embed it if you've got a blog. And also remember that the links to the content that we talked about are in the description. So if you need those links to go, check out the description. And thanks again for watching.